Hey everybody, happy hump day, happy therapy day. Nice to see you all. I wanted to say this before we move on. I'm really trying to also upload my videos on much more of a timeline at noon Pacific time, like just like the lives, but like trying to create a much more sort of structured environment for my upload of videos. So hopefully that will you all seem to like 12 noon, and we've been doing 12 noon lives for such a long time now. I think I have like almost 200 uploads of lives. So with that, I just wanted to start like that. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. I hope that things are going great for you. I appreciate you all so very much joining me here every week and having these great conversations. I think I always tell you that I actually look forward to my time with you. I feel like it's we created a family here, and on some level it's totally awesome to just hang out with you and have really great adult dialogue dealing with so much insanity. I don't know if you all know, but I have a TikTok. In fact, I'll put it down here as you can see my X and my Instagram. And the only one that actually lets me really speak is X. But um, Instagram, I'm shadow banned, and and YouTube, I think, is okay on some level. But that being said, I also have a TikTok, but I'll put that here. But I've been sort of engaging on TikTok a little bit more, and today I was talking about what we're going to talk about today, and yeah, I love that Buccaneers right on. And I was talking about what we're going to talk about today on TikTok, and I guess somebody got butthurt, and next thing you know, my TikTok live was like shadow banned, and everyone was, and all I was talking about was parental rights. So before we move forward, if you're new here, thanks for being here today. I appreciate you so much checking us out. And what I like to do is call everybody out from where they're from, and then you're going to see this amazing worldwide incredible group of people that we have assembled here. And so I'm going to scroll up here to see if I missed anybody and who's the first person I'm going to grab here, and then I'll start from there. And I got Pahrump, Nevada. Wow, actually, I think it's not where you stop before you head into Vegas. I think I got gas there a million times. But anyway, and then we got the UK, we got Idaho, we got Maryland, we got Virginia, Houston in the house, Israel in the house, Netherlands, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Belgium, Georgetown, Devon, UK, Israel, and Berlin. Told you it's worldwide, friends. UK, it's so awesome. Fort Lauderdale, which I love. Ohio, Quebec, Canada, Eagle Bridge, New York, Seattle, Washington, Germany, Texas, California, Colombia, Maryland, is that Maryland? Yeah. Phoenix, Arizona, Georgetown, Ohio, Boone, North Carolina, Hollywood, Florida, Wales, South Africa, Philly, Ohio, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Panhandle, Florida. It's so cool, you guys. It makes me so happy. I don't know why, but I just think it's totally cool that we have all these people from all over the world. It's so cool. UK, Indiana, Vancouver Island, West Virginia, which I'm planning to go there. Maybe around September or October to go visit. That's where my mom's from. New York, Alabama, Wisconsin, Sweden. I love you. Oh, thank you. I love you back. UK, New Jersey, Greece, Oregon, Holland, Arkansas, Scotland, Holland. I love you. Glenburn, Maine. Right on. Thank you. I see you love me a lot there. Are you spamming me with I love yous? That's all good. Better than I hate you. Nor- Norway. So, if you're new here, it's really, I think you're going to enjoy the space. I do. And not because of Scotland in the house, not because of me, but because of us. And because really, we have created just this cool little space that we do every Wednesday. And we call it Hump Day. And we also really call it Therapy Day. And we call it Therapy Day, I think, because we get to kind of say things that might not be able to talk to an actual transsexual about. So, I think it's really important, and what I'm trying to show you as an older transsexual person is that I don't want you to hate transsexual people. I want you to understand that we exist, and I hate even using all that language, but you understand what I mean. We're here. We really do need to move forward in our medication and our transition in order. Oh, we got Tennessee in the house. We got Norway in the house. Thank you, guys. And I do know that you see that, and that's why it means the world to me to have these conversations, because I think probably 90% of the people who come to this room are not necessarily LGBT or trans or any of that. I think you're just people who want to learn, and it really it does. It makes me so happy that you're willing to have the conversation with me and not agree with everything I say. And maybe you don't agree with my lifestyle or my transition. But what I know is that I get a huge amount of respect from you guys. And Croatia's in the house and Ohio's in the house. So that's really what we're building here. If you're new here, I just want to explain that the regulars all know that, and they keep coming back, which means that we all are doing. It's not me, it's us, and we're all doing something right here. And I think what we're trying to show the world is that we come to this with different opinions, different religious spaces, different lifestyles, different ways of parenting, different ways of walking the world. But we've really created this idea that you can have conversation. And as you know, I have no issues with you disagreeing. I don't even have issues with you misgendering me. I just don't. I gotta actually find it hilarious when people thank you for being a member for 4 months. Appreciate it. Really, with the support with the channel. This also really supports the channel. And as I navigate through the world of figuring out what you can and cannot say is so difficult to do, and when you're in these on these platforms that won't let me say some of the things I prefer to say. And it's hard sometimes to navigate that, especially a lot with my videos that I put up. And I did how many of you Buck, I don't even agree with some of the stuff I did earlier in life. Of course, that's called maturity, right? How many of you watched the new video I put up yesterday, which is about those two transgender men? One is a pastor in the MCC church, and the other one is a youth guidance counselor at some organization. Okay. Yeah. So I think did a lot of you watch it? I appreciate it. Yeah. It's disgusting. 100%. I'm going to just talk about that real quick. And then I want to get into, I have a really great video that I swear to God, I've listened to it 5 times because the thing that this person is saying in this video, it just resonates with me at such a level. And I think I have a lot of parents, right? So it was such a disturbing video. And it doesn't end well, right? The girl that was taken away from her mom. If you didn't see the video, I highly suggest, not because of me, but because of the content of it, I highly suggest you go watch it. It's my latest upload, and it's actually going to disturb you beyond, not that I want to disturb you, but what I want to do is bring attention to these creepos that are within the trans space who are targeting children. And I'm not cool with it. I will not have anything to do with it. I'm here to actually help kids move through the world and hopefully not transition. I mean, the goal, really, people, listen to me. The goal is to not transition. That is actually the goal. It really, really is. And to the people who really need to transition, like myself and other transsexuals, it is something as an adult that we really made a conscious adult choice to do, and understanding the pros and cons, the ups and downs, the difficulties of living as a transsexual person. That is why I am very adamant to stand as some gatekeeper in front of these children. I will not ever be okay with children transitioning. I don't care I just don't care if you like it or not. I just don't. I just don't. I know from my own experience of a child with dysphoria, because there's no doubt I had some probably form of dysphoria, but I made it through it. And so that being said, if you watch this video, it is going to disturb you beyond belief, because what you're going to see is what I keep, and many of us like Blair and Tori and a lot of us and Marcus are really trying to show you that there are disingenuous, creepo weirdos in the transgender community that have agenda for these children. And somehow these two, one is a pastor of a church. I'm not a Christian, though I was raised Baptist. I understand, the Bible and Jesus. And we know what I got as somebody who grew up in a Baptist space. Let me grab this and I'll tell you. Hey, Silver, thank you. Parents' rights to their children are very important. I am finally happy after moving from Lincoln to be oh, you're detransitioning. I'd love to bring you on the show and talk about your detrans. And I'm sending you a lot of love, friend Silver. I'm sending you a lot of love, and I hope that you actually I thought Buck was Jewish. I live in a Jewish. I am not. I was not born Jewish. I was born in a Baptist. Born Baptist. Is that even? I was raised Baptist. I was not raised Jewish. My partner is Jewish, and I am actually converting to Judaism. And I actually live in a Jewish household, if that makes sense. But that being said, I was raised Baptist, and so I do understand the Bible and Jesus. And this is what I remember when I was a youngster. And to the Christians or the people who are part of that situation, I remember a Assigned Baptist at birth. I'm gonna actually, I think I have to make a T-shirt, Andy. I think I have to make a T-shirt. Come on, I think you all think that's hilarious. I love stuff like that. At this trans drama in the UK, I've had no grief off anyone. It's the trans activists. Yes, of course. Thank you, Shannon. It's causing all the drama. We know that, and we're going to end it. But what I want to say is, I remember when I was going to church and Jesus, it was always a very happy, awesome thing. Jesus was a good person. Jesus tried to, thank you for being a new member. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for supporting. I just, in my understanding of it, Jesus was just like, hey, like, we're all good here. We're all humans. Like, can we just help everybody else? Can we be cool to people? And so in my new video, if you haven't seen it, this pastor of a church is actually not doing what Jesus. You're not supposed to separate kids from their parents. Isn't there a verse in the Bible, if anyone knows it? Isn't there a verse in the Bible that says something about respecting your parents, or if anyone knows what that verse is? But there is a verse somewhere where you're supposed to like look up to your parents or to respect your parents. And if I would appreciate if someone, it's a fake pastor, and I heard that it's in the Ten Commandments. Thank you. And you're supposed to be chill with a pastor or a priest or somebody in that space. Aren't they supposed to help you, like, get connected to your parents and not take you away? What is it? Can someone put the commandment here? I'd like to read it out loud. Thank you. One sec. You have interviewed me before. This is, oh, hey, Rory. Oh, thank you, friend. Yes, I have. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Where it is. Honor. Thank you, Sue. Honor thy mother and thy father. It's one of the 10 commandments. Thank you. Thank you for that. So as you see, I'm super religious. Not really. But that being said, and how is that pastor disconnecting the kid from the parent? Because that's what this, and we're talking, if you're just joining us, I'm talking about my newest video. And it's so shocking to me that this is a pastor of a church who's sneakily taking the kid away from the parents, and then reported, oh my God, you guys, and then reported a kid to DCF, the Children's Services, and got the kid taken away from the mom because the kid was trans and the mom was Muslim, and she wasn't affirming the child's gender choice. It's a girl who thinks they're a boy. Long story, excuse me. Long story short, anyway, it doesn't end well. It doesn't end well. The child, yep, that's right. The child is gone. And it's so heartbreaking. And I want to do a second half because the mom does a whole interview about how she blames the pastor for taking the child away. And I don't understand why a pastor would do that. I can't understand that a child would be taken away from a parent because they're not, thank you, Colette, because they were not affirming their child. So now look, so nobody wins. The child was taken away from the mother. The mother's grieving, excuse me, for the child. The child is now in a foster system where the child ends up gone. Who wins on that? Who wins? Nobody. The child doesn't win. The parent doesn't win. Should the pastor be held responsible for reporting the mother after one session to DCF and DCF removing the child from the house? Who should be responsible for that? I think the pastor. That's what I think. Thank you all for watching it too. It was heartbreaking for me to make. More I was angry about it than I was crying about it because I'm so angry at these people. Thank you, Colette. Today I'm celebrating 6 months of sobriety from cannabis. Yay. Thank you, Buck, for building this community. Oh, I love you, Colette. It's great. I used cannabis for a long time and then I stopped in my sobriety. That's why I don't call myself sober anymore. I use cannabis and I quit. It's been over a year that I have not used cannabis and I feel like a whole better person for it. The pastor should be. How many people believe the pastor, am I saying that right? Should be held responsible for the offing of that little kid? I think so. Because the pastor is the one who set the wheels in motion. The pastor is the one who took the kid because they think they know better. They think they know better than a parent. Also, the pastor is a pastor of a Christian MCC. I think it's Christian church, and the mother's Muslim. Isn't that sort of saying that your religion is better than the other religion? Like, it's so absurd. The whole thing is so absurd and disgusting to me. I can't even believe it. Yeah, I believe that pastor should be held responsible 100%. And I hope that story, please share it with people because it's a very important story. And I know that I have a lot of people who follow me who are of the Christian faith. And if you could really share that within your even church or within your space, it would really help because I want those people held, both of them. I want them both held responsible. High Silver says that pastor should be responsible and be thrown in prison. I see this as children trapped. Me too. And I would love to get back on the show. Okay, I'll bring you on. Let's bring Silver back on. There are detrans. You're female to male. Are you female to male or male to female, Rory? I'm sorry. I have interviewed so many people. So thank you, Cece. I appreciate that. If I'm doing the Lord's work, thank you, Lord. Thank you for giving me the strength to push against this insane. I just want to tell you something, you guys. I'm not fearful of anybody. I'm not. Want to know why? It's the strength of truth, and it's the strength of reality that keeps me going. If that's God, right on. If that's Jesus, right on. If that's just the universe, right on. I don't know what the truth is, except for it's the truth. And it's the thing that gives me the power to speak out about these things. And I will continue to speak out against people who hurt children. I will not tolerate that. No way, shape, or form. I want nothing to do with that. How sad that a trans community has this sick space in the kids' world. I just cannot be part of that. And these two trans men who I did the story on yesterday are so pathetic and disgusting. I just can't even deal with the fact that I'm supposedly in the same. So I'm not part of that. I think you all know that, right? I'm not part of any of that. That just because I'm a transsexual doesn't mean I have to hook my wagon to a bunch of crazy people. I'm not. I disconnected and built my own wagon. And I tow my own wagon with my own self. I'm not doing that nonsense, friends. It's truth. That's all it is. It's just truth. And I think when you live in truth, whatever that means, the truth, not my truth, not your truth, the truth. When you live in the truth, nothing can stop you. No, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you from moving forward. Nothing can stop you from garnering a group of people who enjoy being with you and hanging out with you and having conversation with you. It is literally what we are showing here. This isn't about me. This is not about me. This is about us as responsible adults in this room who care about not only children, but we also care about the truth. And if the truth for you is Christianity or Judaism or Buddhism, more power to you. But this is the one thing that I wish in religion. I wish religion could just come to that peak where it doesn't matter what you're studying down here or what you're going up down here, but I wish that we all, as different religious people, could come together and, and really hear that message from Jesus, and really hear that message that we're allowed to just be our people. But why are we not sort of intersecting at the top and saying the most important thing in this universe that we're all very lucky to live in, and be able to walk the world every day? How come we can't find peace within that? It's just very strange to me. You know, you can be whatever you want to be in your religious space. What you can't do in my space is you can't hate, and you can't be nasty to people, and you can't want to kill people because they don't believe what you believe. I'm not cool with that. The practical medium. Hey, buddy. Hi, Buck. As you saw my comment, my obligation as a metaphysical believer, I will call out anyone who misrepresents the higher realm, Christian or not. Yes, that's your job. All of our jobs are to call people out. Thank you, friend. Call people out who are not spreading the truth, but lies. Hey, Jim's Grow, Dr. Phil needs to have you on it. Good luck. I appreciate that, but no way. None of these shows will ever have me on. You all know that. It's why we created our own show. They won't have me on. I'm not controversial enough in that sense, right? I think I'm too practical, if that makes sense. They want drama. I'm not a drama queen. I'm not a drama queen. I'm a person who believes in truth. So I want to move forward because I have this great video that I think I really wanted to share with you. I found it as I'm researching to do my next video. And God, there's so much information out there. It's crazy. So hold on. I want to show you this. Is his name Thomas Sowell? S-O. Hold on one second. Whoops. Sorry, you guys. Hold on one second. Let me just go here. Yes. Thomas, Sowell, okay? If you all know who he is, okay? So this is such a great video. Yes. Am I pronouncing it right? Sowell, S-O-W-E. I love this guy. I love him. I fell in love. I'm in love. I'm actually in love with him. His brain is so genius. So I found this video, and I'm pretty sure you're all gonna Soul. Is that so? You pronounce it Soul? Okay, thank you. I just fell in love with him. Like, I just listened to him on my dog walks and my running and all of that, and I'm just like, wow, seriously, one of the smartest people ever to live. I just fell in love with this guy, and so I found. Let me bring this up here. Let me take a drink, relax, sit down. I'm gonna bring this up here. Hold on one sec. Okay, so let's talk about this. So, there was a ruling for the opt-out of parental. Parents can now opt out. I'm not going to play the beginning. I want to go straight to him. Parents can now opt out in schools if they don't want their child to see LGBTQIA poo-poo stuff. I'm for it. Before I move forward, how many are okay with this? Lizzie Girl says, let me see what you said here. You said, hey, I agree, Buck. Thank you. Lately, hearing Jesus makes me turn stuff off because of how pushy and aggressive people are getting. I don't have a problem with him. Or it's not. Yeah, you don't. It doesn't have to be your thing. And also, people can be pushy on all kinds of religion. It's horrible. Yes, I agree with you. So I agree with it. As a transsexual member of the LGBT community, I do believe that every parent has the right, okay, to opt out of anything they don't feel stands by the moral value of their children and teaching their children. Many people don't want the Bible in school, right? Many people don't want other things in the school, right? So why can you opt out of not having Bible service at school, but you can't opt out of LGBTQIA poo-poo? That is insane. So Thomas Sowell, my new hero and my new dude, says the most insanely genius stuff here, okay? So I hope you got your coffee or your drink, because we're going to play this and we're going to react to this together, okay? So let's go here.
is unfortunately a drastic break from decades of precedent.
Oh, this is an idiot from ACLU. Hold on.
And has the potential to
Of course, the ACLU is freaking out, right? The ACLU is freaking out because they think now it's against human rights that a 3-year-old isn't going to get indoctrinated into LGBT nonsense. But Thomas Sowell is going to wreck this lady. He's going to wreck this lady. Oh, I hate the ACLU. Okay.
So real chaos and disruption in public schools across America.
The most dangerous ideology in America today is the belief that your child belongs to the state. Let that sink in. We are no longer debating whether parents should be able to guide their child's moral development. We are watching in real time as that right is being treated like a political inconvenience. On June 27, 2025, the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision in Mahmoud versus Taylor, did something profoundly unremarkable, and yet it sent shockwaves across the activist media. What did they do? They said that parents have a constitutional right to opt their children out of LGBTQ-themed curriculum in public schools, especially when it directly conflicts with their religious or moral beliefs. You would think the justices had declared open war on democracy itself.
He's so genius. First off, his first sentence, do you actually want the state? Because that's what this is all about. It's about the state. It's about the state owning your children, people. If you as a parent cannot opt out of what the state is teaching your kid, then we're not living in America. We're living in a totalitarian or a communist country, right? Because don't we live in a free country? July 4th is coming up. Don't we live in a democracy or a republic or a place where we're supposed to? And I understand why you do homeschool, Judy. 100% I understand that. But so the actual genius of Thomas here, okay, or Mr. Sowell, should I call him, because he deserves super hardcore respect. So let me just keep going on. I get so excited when I listen to it.
Judging by the outrage. But if that decision is controversial in 2025 America, then the problem is not with the court. The problem is with the moral vision of a society that sees state power as the rightful parent and biological parents as dangerous obstacles to progress. Let me say plainly what too many are afraid to. This battle is not about tolerance. It's about who owns your child's mind.
Oh, dude, did you hear that? Did you hear that? It's not about tolerance. It's about who owns your child's mind. Oh, he blew my head right off. He literally blew my head off. I'm like, the whole show is about him because every little word that comes out of this dude's mouth is genius. Not only that, it blows apart everything that the LGBTQIA people activists are trying. They are trying to manipulate us, even me. They're trying to manipulate us all into believing what they're doing is the good thing. Oh no, they are manipulating us. They are dominating the conversation. Okay, they are not letting us have our own beliefs. They are indoctrinating us into their belief system, which is not moral in any way, shape, or form. They don't want you to not. So, I'm sorry, I'm moving ahead of myself because the genius of this video is so brilliant.
You or the ideological architects of the public education system. Now, historically, the role of the parent has been presumed as primary, not just emotionally or biologically, but legally. This principle is not a modern conservative talking point. It is embedded in the very fabric of American constitutional law. As far back as Pierce versus Society of Sisters in 1925, the Supreme Court made clear that the child is not the mere creature of the state. That ruling upheld the right of parents to send their children to religious schools.
Bam! There you go. So they just opened up religious schools. So I had an idea when he said that. I thought to myself, okay, so let's just use Christianity. Christians decided, so you decided that we weren't going to teach the Bible in public school. Okay, right on. So they opened Christian schools, right? And then people started going to Christian. Why don't they open an LGBTQIA poo school? And if you want to send your kid there and you got to pay for it, you go right ahead, right? Like, whatever. I don't personally, like, I would never send my kid to that. But do you understand my sort of argument? Not argument, but my idea there. When you decided that Christianity was not allowed in public schools, they opened their own schools. Well, then open your own LGBTQIA poo school and then send your kids to that. Let's see how that works out, right? Check your messages from me. I have a great spicy guest for you. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll do that. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you, guys. Thank you for support. It really means a lot to me. Okay, so let's move on because this shit is genius. I get like a total, like, I get all excited like a child.
In defiance of Oregon's attempt to outlaw private education altogether. So what are we seeing today? A slow momentum rebellion against that foundational idea. When Montgomery County, Maryland eliminated the opt-out provision in 2023, it wasn't some neutral bureaucratic decision. It was a signal, a declaration that public school curricula were no longer about informing children, but about reorienting them. Morality, values,
Wow.
family roles,
Wow.
and even the meaning of male and female are now decided not by parents, not even by democratically elected school boards in many cases, but by unelected curriculum designers and ideological consultants.
That is such a powerful state. I'm going to link this video today if you all haven't seen it. It's mind-blowing because it's literally the truth. It's literally the truth. It's not about teaching your kids about regular shit, math and science and boys and girls. They have an agenda. They have an agenda. And who's overseeing these people? Does anybody know? Because I'm kind of a new parent. I just got a kid like 5 years ago, and I'm kind of navigating, and I'm adopting the baby soon. So believe me, I'm getting this baby like straight up baby, and I'm gonna so help this baby walk the world as a badass. But when I want to ask to the parents who have been parents for a long time, who oversees the public school curriculum? Who oversees that? And do we have a sort of balance in that? Or is it just people who have been elected as school board members? I really want to start to learn more about it myself as a parent. And I want to understand, oh, see, that's right. I'm not cool with this dude right here. I don't know about all you people, but Zoran Mamdani, yes, is openly socialist and has stated we need more socialist politicians. The fact that dude is even, it's just gross. But who elects so do we elect the school board as voters? And then, so anyway, yeah, that's a whole other, I could get into so many conversations with you guys. Okay, let's go here. Federal regulations, but who sets those federal? So I guess this new law that Trump just passed, or they passed, is now going to say that parents can opt out. That's one of the new laws. Okay. So which is a great law. Every single parent should be able to opt out of shit that's being, you're allowed to opt out of sex ed. I don't agree with that, but it might be your religious belief. You should be able to opt out of it. 100%. You should be able to opt out of it.
That is not education. That is indoctrination.
That is not education. That is indoctrination. Our children, yours and mine, are being indoctrinated to LGBTQIA poo stuff that is not factual. A lot of this stuff is ideological. Little Susie can be little Tommy. And the sparkly rainbow flag, you're going to have that's ideology. That is not actual factual based stuff. And boys can be girls and girls can be boys. Teaching that to 10-year-olds is pure indoctrination.
It is being sold to the American people under the euphemism of inclusivity.
See?
But here's the catch. When the left talks about inclusivity, it usually means exclusion of parental authority,
Yes.
exclusion of
Yes.
religious views,
Yes.
and exclusion of dissent. Diversity is championed except when it is a diversity of values.
Oh, this guy is so genius. I mean, I couldn't even say it. There is no diversity. There is no inclusion. It's all gaslighting, word manipulation, because the minute he just said it, the minute you go against it, right, you're a bad person.
To understand how we got here, you must first understand the worldview behind it. In my book, Inside American Education, I warn that much of what happens in public schools is not a reflection of academic rigor, but the result of ideological capture by elites who view children as blank slates to
Oh, this is the part that I really wanted you to hear. I mean, there's so many, but the elitists who view your children as blank slates. Just sit with that for a minute. That is the scariest sentence. Who view your children as blank slates. So it's the truth. Little kids know nothing. You can actually create something from a baby. You and I both know that. They take the values of their parents on. They take the values and the things of because what you're teaching your children every day, how to eat a salad, how to use a fork and knife, right? How to walk the world, how to get dressed. I mean, what things to say and not say, right? This is the actual truth. They're literally a blank slate. So the elitists within this educational system, right, have now seen that, and this has to be going on for years and years. This is, you can't do stuff like this overnight. This has been something going on for a long time. You cannot do this. This is manipulation and indoctrination over years and years. Little bit, until eventually people are just like, oh, it's totally normal to talk to a 5-year-old about gender nonconforming, and you're really a girl, right? Or you're really a boy. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. And hold on, I have one more. God, you guys, it's so crazy. Why is LGBT pee pee poo poo stuff in school anyway? That's our point. That's literally the point. It doesn't need to be there. 100% it doesn't need to be there. And so this is what he's exposing.
To be molded in the correct image. What is correct, of course, depends on which vision dominates. And
hold on, I see a middle school teacher. Hi, middle school teacher. Thank you for being a teacher. Kayla says, I'm a middle school teacher. It's not new. Yeah, totally. 100%. I'm a newer parent, so I'm really more... Because of being a parent, you guys, it has changed my life on many levels, just on many levels. And that being said, one of the levels it's changed is my eyes are open to what children are being taught. I wasn't necessarily so into talking about kids and what they're learning until I became a parent and watched the kid go to school, right? Yeah. Oh, you adopt. Yeah. I also adopted Buck. Kayla says, yeah, it's really such a beautiful thing to be able to do. I feel so lucky. I just feel blessed and lucky. And anyway, not enough about me. So because of my new space as a parent, I really do want to see this nonsense happening. And so, I have a lot of teachers who do actually follow me, and we have these conversations, and they always say these kinds of things, Kayla, to me, always like, yep, this is happening. It's been happening for a long time. So now we're at the part where he's saying your child is a blank slate. The elitists in the school system know this, and that's how they know that they want to guide your child in what they think your child should be learning. Not what you think your child should be learning, but what they think your child should be learning.
For the last several decades, it is the vision I have spent my entire career confronting, the vision of the anointed. This vision is built on a few deeply flawed assumptions. First, that ordinary people, parents in this case, are too unenlightened to know what is best for their children. Second, that elites, by virtue of their compassion and credentials, are morally entitled to override the decisions of others.
See, they think they know what's best for your kid. They actually think they know, and that parents are stupid and don't know. I mean, wow, you guys, just wow. We should all the parents in this room should just be livid, livid.
And third, that society must be reshaped, often forcibly, to conform to a preordained vision of social justice, regardless of how many rights are trampled along the way. That is what this fight is about.
Wow.
The Mahmoud case was not about banning books. It wasn't even about suppressing LGBTQ identities. It was about a very basic premise that parents have a right not to have their children's consciences hijacked by the government.
There you
Justice
go.
Alito, writing for the
There you go. That's what it was about. By the way, you guys, they didn't ban the LGBTQ books. They're not banning the books. They're letting people up. This is the manipulation of the left media. They're not banning the books. They're letting parents opt out of those books being taught to their children. Big difference. Hey, Diva Dawn, thank you, friend. This is what I told my son when this madness started to infiltrate society. Once you start to say yes, you can't say no. This is so true. This is so true. Once you say yes, you can't say no. You're not allowed to turn around. You're not allowed to change your mind. This is something I have learned because I have changed my mind. I've changed my mind about children transitioning. I will always be honest with you all that I used to think children transitioning was a good idea. I'm very upset at myself for thinking that, but I'm being honest with you. I actually thought that because I got indoctrinated through the LGBTQ pee poo poo community that what it was, I was a trans kid, and every kid who had gender I literally got indoctrinated into that thought. And then when I really sat with myself and did research and realized, no, that's actual BS, they turned on me because I decided, no, I was not going to say yes anymore. So this is a great point.
majority, pointed out that the parents assert a sincerely held religious belief that certain teachings violate their faith.
Yes.
And that forcing them to submit their children to
Yes.
that content without recourse or exemption constitutes a substantial burden on their First Amendment rights. That should have been a straightforward point.
That's right.
But listen to the dissenting opinion by Justice Sotomayor. She called the opt-out option a tool of segregation. In other words, parents exercising moral conscience are now lumped into the same category as racists from the Jim Crow South.
Yeah.
This isn't just a disagreement over curriculum.
Yeah.
It is a deliberate moral vilification of any viewpoint outside of the ideological status quo.
Bam. Again, most genius speaking points that this dude is making. Genius. You're right. This dude just is saying everything so on point. It's crazy. It's so Justice Sotomayor, who is disgusting as far as I'm concerned, is literally saying basically when you do that, he's saying it's literally in the same frame line as racism, or like, no. If you don't want your kid to know about gay and trans and non-binary, how is that a bad thing? How is that a bad thing? I don't really understand. It's so ridiculous to me.
Whoa. So let's be clear. Under this twisted logic, a parent who wants their 8-year-old to learn about arithmetic without also being taught about non-binary pronouns is practicing exclusion and hate. Meanwhile, the school board that eliminates opt-out rights is considered progressive and enlightened. This is not about tolerance. This is about control.
Oh, wow.
And the very fact that
this is not about tolerance. This is about control. It is, I just gonna pluck every amazing little thing this man says. It is literally about that. And I've been saying it from day one when I got on the team women. And I said, it's not about trans women coexisting with women. It's not about trans women walking the world feeling like they can be themselves. It was trans women or women is not about tolerance. It's about dominance, which literally overlaps this particular talking point where they are not about having tolerance for many belief systems. They are about dominating the belief system and telling you that your child must, okay, not your child has the opportunity or we would like to enlighten you, but your child must learn LGBT or they are a bigot or you are a bad person. How is that even like a thing? Wow.
That the Supreme Court had to intervene to defend a centuries-old constitutional principle.
Oh, wait, this is an interesting comment here. The damsel. As much as I love the Supreme Court ruling, I wish they banned the books entirely because I still don't think the books are pro. No, okay, so I hear what you're saying, damsel. I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to push back in my own opinion. When you start banning, when you actually start banning books, that's a slippery slope, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I personally don't agree children should be seeing any of these kinds of books. 100%, in my opinion, they should not. But I also have a hard time with banning books. Do you remember? Let me find it. Hold on here. Do you remember I talked about this book? Remember I talked about, you guys all remember this? You know this book? Irreversible Damage, my friend Abigail Schreier. And if you're struggling with a kid, I highly suggest this book. But let me remind you, this book was banned on Amazon. The whole LGBTQIA community came after this book and they got it taken down from Amazon. They got it taken out of every bookshop. They got it completely destroyed. Okay. But this book goes against the trans ideological space for girls, okay? It literally tells you what is happening, okay? So my point to you, damsel, is yeah, I understand what you're saying, but on the other hand, it's gonna open up a very slippery slope when you do that, and then it's gonna give the opportunity for books like this. This book, everyone, we got it back on Amazon, thank God. We got it back into the bookstores, thank God. We got it back out there. But this is the agenda. This is the agenda of the LGBTQIA is that they try to hide this. This is truth. This is actual. This is not the truth. This is not her truth, or this is a very truthful book. And Abigail Schreier is a very good friend of mine, and she did her research. And I don't mean to put you on blast. I'm not blasting you, damsel. I really love you a lot, and thank you for always coming to the space. I just wanted to push back on that particular thing, and it's just conversation. I hope that you understand that. But that being said, this way I don't necessarily believe in banning books. I believe having the opportunity to see the book. It should be in the library, okay, and it should have a parent should have the opportunity to pull this book off the shelf, as well as maybe pulling this book off the shelf, okay? These two books should be able to be in the space, as well as maybe this book, right? This book right here, you all probably don't even know about this book, but this book was written, I think, in 1978, and it's called The First Man Made Man, and it's actually about a transsexual man who transitioned in, I think, the 60s or 70s. And it's actually, I don't think it's very well written, in my opinion, but it's a very important book. So you can't just have one side. You've got to have, well, these books you can buy on Amazon. This is a great book. You should read this book. It's called The Self-Made Man. Do you guys all know this book? It's actually a really interesting book. It's not a trans book. This book is about a woman who decided that she wanted to dress and become a man. She's a lesbian, and it's actually a really fascinating book. She went under disguise as a man, right? And she totally, thanks Kayla, and she totally infiltrated the man space. Oh my God, it's so great. But there's an actual bad ending to it. Not the book, but to the author. The author had like a lot of mental health problems after. Yep. R.I.P. Nora. Yep. R.I.P. Nora. It's very sad, you guys. Yep. So anyway, I want to get back to this.
Tells us just how far we have drifted. We are witnessing the erosion of the American family not through lawless riots or radical speeches, but through quiet administrative memos, curriculum revisions, and inclusive policies that, brick by brick, remove parents from the educational process. The architects of this new order don't need to silence dissent directly. They just
Yes.
redefine it as bigotry and push it out of the classroom.
They just redefine it as bigotry. You see that? It's just so, this is the best video ever to expose the agenda, to expose the indoctrination. They actually, so that's the gaslighting, the word of the century, the gaslighting that has to go on. And this idea that if you go against the LGBT space, you're a bigot and you're a racist and you're all a transphobe, right? All of those things. That's why these talking points are just so genius.
If we are serious about preserving liberty, we must start by asking whose values are being taught to your children
Bam!
and who gave them the authority. Because once the state
Yes.
assumes moral guardianship over your children, your rights become privileges revocable at will.
Did you hear that? Your rights become privileges revocable at will. Once the state takes over what your child should learn. Wow.
And that is not education. That is tyranny with a smiling face. The most effective propaganda
Tyranny.
is never announced as propaganda. If you want to impose an ideological vision on a population, the easiest way to do it is through the public education system. And the most
Oh my God. I can't take it. The easiest way to indoctrinate your children is through the public educational system. He said it. He actually said it. This is why the only things that should ever be in the school system, in the public school system, at the private school, that's a different story. You know, that's private. Okay? It's Jews doing, oh man, Shannon, wow, you actually said that. That's a bummer. It's Jews doing the okay, well, I'm not going to entertain that. That's a very anti-Semitic statement, and I'm not happy with it, but it's okay. So I just want to let you know that is a very powerful statement. They actually can and will indoctrinate your children into what they want to have them believe them. So little kids are little sponges, and little kids can be little soldiers, and little kids can learn things and grow up to think what this person just said. It's the Jews who did it. You can teach kids at an early age to believe that shit. It's the Christians who did it. It's the black people who did it. It's the trans people who did it. Take every group of people and just lay that on top of them. Okay? So that's what they're trying to do in this public school system.
most effective way to make that propaganda stick is to pretend that it's neutral, scientific, or morally superior. That's exactly what's happening right now with the infiltration of radical gender and sexuality ideology into
Radical gender and sexuality indoctrination in the American classroom. Totally.
American classrooms. The truth is far more unsettling than most people are willing to admit.
Yeah.
LGBTQ curriculum is not being introduced as one among many perspectives. It is being presented as the only.
Oh, you see that? He just wrecked it again. LGBTQIA curriculum is not being presented as one amongst many. It is being projected as the only view. Holy crap. Holy crap. That just in itself was another brilliant statement. Because you're right. It's not, well, I have a different opinion. You can't have a different opinion. You're only supposed to take this one opinion.
Morally acceptable worldview, and any attempt to question it is treated as dangerous, hateful, or even violent. This isn't education. It's a moral monopoly.
Yes.
And the left is using it to reshape society one child
Yes.
at a time.
Oh my God.
Let me be very clear. This has nothing to do with whether someone is gay, straight, or otherwise. It has everything to do with whether the government has the right to impose moral values on your children while silencing yours.
See that? Oh my God. It has nothing to do with LGBTQIA, pee pee poo poo. It has to do with them overriding your own beliefs. Yeah, well, we got rid of the anti Semitism. I will not tolerate that. I will not tolerate anti Semitism in this room. Please don't do that. You are allowed to have your own belief, and I will not. I will what? I will not. I will not tolerate hate. Okay, let's just say that. Don't talk shit about Christians. Don't talk shit about Jews. Don't talk shit about Muslims. Don't talk shit about people. Okay, you're allowed to have a fucking opinion here. But what you're not allowed to do is come in and point fingers at one group of fucking people. It's gross and it's disgusting. And I'm fucking over it. We're trying here to create a community where we can have some fucking conversation instead of someone coming in and just sideswiping the whole fucking thing. It's the Jews. It's the Christians. No, it is not. Okay? Take responsibility, people. It's people. It's individual people creating problems within groups of people. It's not the trans people. It's asshole trans people within the trans activist space, okay? You can't lump me in with all the fucking trans people. That's not fair. Just like you can't lump everybody in with all the Christians or you just can't do that. So I'm really just, you know, it's just, yeah. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. Thank you, people. Thank you. Thank you. And I know all of you are so solid. It's why you come to this space. It's why we have these great conversations. And I very rarely do we get that nonsense. Okay. And I understand you don't have to support certain kinds of things here. But what you can't come here to do is blame a group of people. It's already hard enough to navigate the world for all of us, not just some of us, for all of us. Okay, so let's have some compassion for everybody. Let's have some compassion for when we say all the Muslims in the world are terrorists. That is actually gross. You know, I don't believe in the things that are coming from that space, but it doesn't mean every single Muslim is a bad person or every single Jew is about wiping out a group of people. That is so gross. And yeah, it got me fired up. You know why it got me fired up? It did. It actually got me fired up. But you know why? You know why? Because I don't like it. I'm trying here to create a space where we can all just fucking talk about shit. But because it was a nasty comment. It really was. Oh my God. So anyway, Dixie. You know, and I would do it for a Christian, and I would do it for a Muslim, and I would do it for a Buddhist, and I would do it for I would do it for anyone and everyone who's trying to create a better world. I just would do that. I'm here to help create a better world. I'm not here to do this bullshit. So anyway, let's try to finish this up because it's the, you know, well, yeah, we got derailed. we got fucking derailed, which really upsets me because I want to have this conversation about parental rights. And I really believe that we as parents have the right to say what our children should and should not be seeing. And if you want to opt out of sex ed, I wouldn't do it, but you should have every right to do it. If you want to opt out of LGBTQ pee-pee poo-poo books, I'm joining you on that, okay? If you want to opt out of Christianity and the Bible being, I will check my email, Kayla. I will also say that I don't particularly believe religion should be taught in schools unless you're going to a Christian school. There, I'm pretty nuanced, if that makes sense. And I think she's back. No, she isn't. We have great mods, by the way. Everybody thank Lisa and Anne, our moderators, who have made the room a much better place. Because if you notice, we don't get a lot of shit here. We just don't get it anymore. People know not to show up, right? People know not to show up because you'll be kicked out the room. We don't play here. Again, we are open to your opinion. What we're not open to is nonsense. Okay, so let's just try to get a little bit more of this?
The Supreme Court's decision on June 27, 2025, finally confronted that question. The court said, no, parents have the right to say, this is not what I want my child learning. That's not extremism, that's freedom.
That's right.
But the reaction from the
That's not extremism. That's freedom. Dude.
media and activist groups was telling. They didn't argue the legal merits of the case. They didn't even bother pretending this was about academic freedom. Instead, they
Yeah. Okay, wait, Kat. Kat says sex ed is now X-rated in schools. Yes, I have seen some of these books, but my son just came back from school and had sex ed. And I asked him, what did you learn in sex ed? It was not X-rated. No way, shape, or form was it X-rated. So I'm going to push back on you with that. But they might have some stuff going on. I want to know what grade you're talking about as well.
accused the court of turning back the clock
Yeah.
and emboldening bigotry. In other
Yeah.
words, if you don't want your 7-year-old reading about two daddies kissing in a storybook or discussing gender dysphoria in 2nd grade, you are now
Lisa said, should we, here, let's take a vote. How about that? Let's make this a community room. Let's make this a community room real quick, and then I'll finish this video. It's Shannon. Yes, why I'm shocked, because Shannon, I thought, was not like that. You want me to kick her? She is always here, not a troll. How many people in this room believe that that Shannon should be let in this back into this room? Because it's our room. It's not just my room. Okay? Okay? So if you think Shannon should be able to come back in this room and have her anti-Semitic remarks, maybe somebody broke into her account. Yeah, I don't like anti-Semitism. I'm not cool with it. Okay. So out, give her a chance. Maybe she said something stupid. True, we have all done that. Put her in the short leash. Okay. No. See ya, Shani. Okay. Maybe make it a warning. Yeah. How about if we give her a warning? Yeah, she said an anti-Semitic thing. She did. No, I know. Shannon writes me a lot of emails, you guys. I have had a lot of conversations with Shannon. Okay. So, okay, I got it. How about this? Yeah, we could talk about Zionism. No doubt about it. So eventually we could do a whole thing on it. I want to stay focused on this so I can finish. So listen, you guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give Shannon a chance to come back into the room, but we're going to tell her that the rules are you can't come in here and blame a group of people like the Jews or the Christians or whatever. Okay. I think a warning. I'm all about that. Okay. So we're going to give her a warning and we're going to let her come back in and then we'll just move on. Thank you guys for being so fair. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Okay. Great. Now let's finish up this. Thanks for having a great community here. I appreciate it.
the problem. You are the threat. But here's the part they don't want to talk about. The curriculum itself is political. Consider what kinds of books were being mandated in Montgomery County's classrooms.
Yeah.
Picture books like Pride Puppy and My Rainbow weren't just about acknowledging the existence of gay or transgender people. They were designed to normalize a particular ideological framework. One
See, he just said it. What was it? My tranny pony and something else, my glitter puppy. Like he's right. They're not normal books that are trying to normalize things. They're more of an ideological space, and that gender is fluid. It's totally what he's saying is so true. I'm gonna put a link to this. Hey Fitz, nice to see you, friend. Transitioned alone and now try to be the support I never had. But what I see today from many so-called trans people in the celebration of immorality, no matter how it's framed, immoral behavior is never just. Yeah, it's quite sad. I totally agree with you. Okay. So we can talk about Zionism, 100% we can. I actually will bring somebody on too who maybe has a better perspective of it than me. You have to remember that we're gonna go, but here, listen to this. I'm going to put put a link to this video because I'd love for you all to watch it so we can discuss it some more. But I want to say this before I go. You have to remember that I do live in a Jewish space. I might pick you. And I do see things maybe different than you do. And I have a lot of friends who live in Israel. And I have been to Israel. And I have spoken in Israel. Okay. It's the only Middle Eastern country that ever brought me there to speak. Okay. So that being said, I probably have a different opinion than many of you here. And Zionism is a very hot topic right now, right? As pro-Palestine is. But things can get very muddied when you start to have these conversations because people can't seem to have a more kind of middle ground nuanced space. When you say Zionism, you think that means that, in my opinion, people just think that means F everybody else, blow everybody up, we're not leaving. That's not all Zionists are like that. Zionism just means you believe in the state of Israel. That's all, okay? In my opinion, and being around other Zionists, okay? Extreme anything is bad. 100% agree with you on that. Great point. I am not an extremist, okay? So, yes. That's right. Zionists are not, in my opinion, like that. Okay. So I think it is a very difficult. Yes, Zionism is simple. The idea that Jews have a place. That's it. That's it. But I think it's gotten to a place now that you're one-sided. Either you're pro-Palestine or you're a Zionist. And that's just not true, in my opinion. Now, if I were to have this conversation with you all, it's going to be difficult because some people are going to get their feelings hurt, and some people are gonna be mad about the conversation. So as much as I really would love to have conversation, right, it's not easy, people, because people don't necessarily want to listen. They want to have an opinion. And I know this as a public speaker and somebody who travels the world talking about things, and people just will have these opinions that you can't seem to get them to just listen, right? So you all know I'm all about open to ideas and I'm all about having conversation, and I want to find a way to do it that doesn't become a shit show. Does that make sense? I just don't want a shit show. Let me remind you all, I'm about to adopt a baby. I have maybe the baby's due August 30th. Let's hope. Please, everybody, send prayers that the baby makes it to term and not early. But I really want you to understand, I'm about to have a baby. Okay, so these are my 2 months of of literally just being, and I'm not going to have a lot of extra time. I'm just not going to have a lot of extra time. I'm going to have all my time spent here and with the baby. And the baby will probably be right here. The baby will not be on camera. Just so you know, I want you all to know you're not going to see the baby. I mean, maybe I'll put the baby in a blanket like Michael Jackson and maybe show you the baby like that. But the baby's face will never be shown. The baby will never be on that. I want to talk about baby stuff. I want to talk about being a new dad at 63. I want to talk about parenting. I want to talk about all these amazing things that I'm about to learn. The adoption process I went through. I'm more than happy to talk about the adoption process with you all. It's pretty intense. And, you know, I don't know if you know that I went through a program. My partner and I, Rachel, we went through a program called open adoption. Do you know what open adoption is? It's basically where the mom picks us. So the mom picked us. The birth mom goes through like catalogs of groups of people. And for a year, I've been wanting to do this, right? And so the mom picked her and I, and we feel so blessed. Hey, Lizzie, maybe do a little short video about it and move quickly past. Don't look at comments. Just go, yeah, I might can't wait for baby stories. Yeah, I know it's a hard space. Thank you for that. So anyway, I just want you to know, like, there's already hate and nonsense I deal with in the trans space. They hate me. The trans activists hate me. I get a lot of hate. If I could bring you all the hate mail I get and the people doing TikToks about me, and it's just overwhelming to hear people say the most insane things about me. But I put that to the side. And so to bring up a conversation about Zionism and all that, it could really cause a lot of problems. And not for me. I'm all about, I'm like someone said, I'm a very nuanced, very, balanced person. But that can't, I might just not let the chat go. I might just do it with somebody who maybe wants to have a conversation with me. But I want to also have the chat because I want you guys to be able to ask questions. So Anne and Lisa are going to have their job, right, cut out for them, if that. But that being said, I can't wait to get to be a dad of a brand new baby. And it's why I'm starting to talk more about these parental rights. And I'm really starting to want to understand becoming a parent and really the responsibility. The responsibility you have as a parent is huge. And I think when we have these people telling us the things we have to teach our kids, it's so unfair and so wrong to put that on a parent when a parent's most of the time. So see, you're sideswiping me, Wolfie, when you say stuff like that, because it's not fair for you to. Well, that's your opinion. Wait, hold on. I just want to say this, and then I'm gonna go. Okay, so this is Wolfie's opinion. Zionism is erasing Palestine by stealing land. Israel doesn't want a two-state solution. Pure evil. I will tell you that I disagree with that, and that's okay. It's an opinion. It's not a fact. It's an opinion. Okay, so this is how you have conversation and hard topics. Okay, my opinion is different than that. Okay, and so I'm not sure where you're getting your information on that, but I disagree in that. It's what I'm trying to show you is disagree with that. And there's been many times that there has been an opportunity to have a two-state solution, and it wasn't Israel that was denying it. So that's all. That's it, right? So we can have the conversation. Again, that's what's going to happen is someone's going to have an opinion, and then everyone's going to jump on that left or right, and then it's going to get divided. That's right. Israel has offered to. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, so I'm going to be a dad soon. I hope you're all happy about that. I want to talk about baby stuff. I also want you guys to know that it's going to be hilarious because you know what I'm going to get a baby thing. I know, can't you all just imagine, before I go, I want you to imagine this. Me running, doing my workout with my baby strapped to my chest. I'm like so looking forward to it. I'm going to get a baby buggy, and I might even be doing promotional. I might get sponsors for the channel for baby stuff like baby strollers and things that you wear and like doing dad videos. Like it's just I'm really that's just over there, but I'm just looking forward to learning a new skill and a new thing and the responsibility to bring a little baby into the world. And do you guys want to know that? I think I told you. Did I tell you that we know the sex of the baby? Did I tell you the sex of the baby? Who wants to guess? Let's see. Who wants to guess, or did I tell you all? Because I am so excited about it. I just can't. I can't believe it. So it's like getting a puppy. Did I tell you all? So what do you guys think? Did I tell you if it was a girl or a boy? I did. I told you it was a girl. Non-binary. That's not happening here, my friend. Yeah, I'm getting a little baby girl. So it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited. I'm going to make her a badass. Anyway, I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll put a link to this video. I'd love for you all to listen to it when you have a little bit of time. It's a pretty powerful video. And I do appreciate you all so much for supporting the channel, helping things move forward, trying to find a space to have conversation. And, you know, even when it's hard and we can hopefully find a space to still be friends, even if we disagree on certain issues. We should still remain friends here, and we should still have these conversations. Okay, so with that, I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Look out for a new video coming out tomorrow. And if you haven't watched the last video I did on the pastor and the crazy nut case that's going on there, please watch it. The didn't turn out well. The video turned out good, but the ending of the story was horrible. So sending you all a lot of love. Have a great rest of your day. It's hump day. Tomorrow's Thursday and then Friday. And oh, July 4th. Happy July 4th. Happy July 4th. Don't forget the privilege it is to be an American and to live in this country. Okay. So sending you guys all a lot of love. Have a great rest of your day.